It's very interesting. Okay, let's come over here, and where we started was on page Tuf Page. Where we ended up was on page Tuf Kuf Pei Gimel. There we go. So what are we talking about? We said the word Baruch. Let me find that. What is it in the pencil? I just had it in my hand. Here it is. Okay, so how much time do we have today? To what time?
Till 28.
28. Wow. Okay, so he writes like this on the top of that page. We're on Yud Aleph. And remember all of what we're looking at here is because we said the word Baruch. So Baruch. Number Yud Aleph. He has nice explanations. Baruch Hashem. He said, Laham Sheikhakala Oras and Iskarim. So in order to bring down all of those lights, Derek Ponin the Malchus the Keser Dezah. Now the words are, again, he's explained it a little bit better. It's going to go down the path of the face of the Malchus the Keser Dezah. So we know that the Malchus or anything has a Ponim and an Ach. But Derek Ponim and Ach the Malchus the Chochma Shehu Gematria Baruch. So we have to figure that out. But Derek Ponim of Ach the Malchus the Chochma, which is Gematria, comes out the Machna Baruch, and he shows us a picture of what he's talking about, where it's Ku Av Kal. So that he straightened it out. It was before Ku Kal Av, which I've seen in the RASHASH, and also this other both of them Ku Av Kal. So he shows us all of that, and now he's going to explain it down in number Yud Aleph down below. Try to help us out a little bit. Here we go. He says, "B'kedei lahavin diber zereb sark lahaktim shal shemesh bekeser heim peshutim lulo milui." So keser is going to be that first part, which is just going to be the ku, the Havayah. So let me see. I'm messing around with this too much and lose my place. But shemesh bechochma heim milui od heim b'milui. They appear in a milui, and that's why the second line is going to be av in a milui form. Now he hasn't explained to me exactly. Maybe we could come up with an explanation. Let me just go back to it. I'll hold my finger there. Go back to this. It starts off, it's not just Av, there's so many different ways. There are ways to spell Av, which he's talking about. But here it starts out with a Havayah, and then it comes to Ma. So Havayah plus Ma gives you 71. And so therefore with a Kolol it's 72, and that's the 72 he's talking about. Why write it like this? Why Havayah and then the Ma? That's a question. So he said, he said like this, Od Sarak Sheteda, Ki Kol Hashemos, Kashem Derek Ponim Hem Regilin. Now, I'm not sure what Regilin means, but it means they're normal. So in other words, they're straight. When you're talking about the Ponim, they're going to be straight. When you talk about the back, they're going to be Revua. That's a nice thing to hear, although we've seen this before, but it's a nice thing to hear it written. Oda know this furthermore. Ki betocha keser, o besocha choch ba'atzma, esher lachshov as havaya the misper dalit. You could always consider the havaya as a dalit. Ukashemistalkim al misper ha'osis shabo, ukashemistaklim, excuse me. And when you take a look at the letters that are there, ve'efsher lachashvachu the minion ku, and you could look at a gemata kishemayim as Hagematria Shalosh. It's just explaining it out, how you get the number 26 out of Yud Kei Vav Kei, which is obvious. Of the Sevirus of Malchus, the Keser, so now you talk about, Keser has 10 spheros, you go down to the bottom, he says, O Malchus, the Chochma, but call the Sevirus of Malchus Moinim as Gematria Shalosh. That's where you actually start counting the Gematria. Of the Zech of the Tavin, Masha, Sidur, Kana, Rashas, Gimel, Shemos. Echad Derek Ponim. So the first one is going to be the way of the face, so it's straightforward. The Malchus the Keser, the Zer Anpin. So we're talking about the Malchus the Keser, the Zer Anpin, which he says, the Hind of Shem Havaya, Pashut Shebegematria Ku. Hasheni Derek Ponim, the Malchus the Chochma. The second one is going to be the way of the face of the Chochma, but the Chochma we know appears Now, it appears as as a milui. Behind a milui shem b'vayat the cholofin shebegematria ma. B'gashach hanitzaref lezecher b'shem havayah pashut yahale begematria ayin aleph. Now, exactly what he gets out of that, I'm not sure. So, another place you see that Zer Anpin or ma is called. You see it in the Patach Eliyahu. The Patach Eliyahu says that the ma is the derech of Etzilus. Maybe that's what it is. So you're saying coming off of this big Yud Ke Vav Ke, just simple ku, then you're going to go down through the derech of Zer Anpin, and you're going to get down to the Malchus. So here's Zer Anpin. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know. I made it up, but that's what I think. He says, therefore, that's the reason why you have the Havayah first, and then you have the derech, which is the ma, which comes to, he says, ayin base with a kola. So his v'revim ha-kolel harei-av. V'kavanas zichel b'decha b'mubah b'shar kavanas. So he said the shar kavanas, they don't mention this, but the RASHASH does. V'hashlishi hu derek ach. So then, now you got to the acharayim of, I think he said of Chochmah. So he said, v'hashlishi hu derek acharayim of the malchus of Chochmah, the heinach of ribur de mitui havai the halafish b'gematria kal. So this is what it goes. It sounds like that what it's saying is going from the pure, which is the ku, and then it's going into a further travel. It's going to travel down to because it's a milui. It's going to travel through Chochmah down to bottom of Chochmah, and then it's going to go out. V'gimel shemos Elul hein kavana nosefes. Begimel shemos kuav kal shebegematria baruch. So this is an additional kavana. Let's go to the next one, number Yud base. Number Yud base. Oh, excuse me. It says Rayo Aleph. It's the first Rayo, he says. What's that? It says V'chagimel gevuros the Chagat. Now remember what he's talking about. There's little things missing in his notes, which would be nice to know, and the Tiv has been really helpful. V'chagimel gevuros the Chagat mispashtin berevua. So they're going to come out in a revua form. The gevuros are going to come out in a revua. V'hem shlosha av gematria raya. So Yud Ke, Vav Ke. Now, when did he say this? He said this in regard to when it gets into the nook. In the nook, he found going down that comes into her das, and then that is the shefa that we're talking about. It comes into her das and then spreads down her 3 lines. He said, "V'chagimel gevuros ha'chagad mispashtin berevuah v'chem shlosh av gematria raya." And again, once again, up above, he says, yes, I didn't read this. Let me read it up above where it says Yud base. It says, once again, he said, "V'chagimel gevuros the chagat that travel down the chagat of the nook." Mispashtin berevua. So we're going over the backside here. They're going into the nook. It's going to be these revuas. Gematria raya once again. V'hem shlosha av gematria raya. Maybe I did read it. So it says v'hamshech kol ha'aros and iskarams the nook. And where is the nook? The nook is in Bria. So here's the coming over here to the explanation. It's a short explanation here of the Tiv. And it says Shiluv Havayah berevua. Hanimsoin b'shlosha chukavim shloshos kavim that are found in the 3 lines of the nook. Hem shlosha pamim av she'olam rayo. V'zecha kavonas rayo shetzarek l'kavim b'tevis baruch. And he says this is the ultimate rayo that you should have in your mind when you come to the word baruch. Okay, so let's go over to the next page. The next page has a note at the top. And it says, "V'gam nacham shechallah mimalchus dezer anpin Havayah ba'adnus." So not only that, but you have to bring this Havayah ba'adnus, and v'ribur adnus ha'olim rayo. So once again, when I see these things, and that's in fact here it is right here. It's the Shiluv of Havayah Adnus, and then it takes the name Adni, and it divides it into a revua. Rayo ima kolo. So with the kolo, it comes this number comes out to be rayo also. So this is an exercise in understandable expandability to me, because the Re in his Kedushin, his level, understood what these combinations, what the meaning of these combinations is. And just for our sake, so using just some of the rules that he said before, is you have a Shiluv, which is a Gematria 91, which is he had said earlier, he's going to say it again, that this is the power by which the Malchus is able to be able to come up. This Shiluv, which is a Yichud. And then after that, then you have this Revuah of the name Adni, which I think he's going to say, and let me see if I remembered it, but he's going to say that that actually is Malchus. So at this point, so I again, letters, just letters, Vatzilas, that's all they are. Let's see if we can, that was number Yud Gimel. Yud Gimel is not, it doesn't have a lot of explanation down below. The words were Laham Shech Alam and Malchus de Zer Anpin. So now you're in the Malchus de Zer Anpin, which is the place where the connection is going to be made with the Nukva. Havayah de Adnis. So we're going to find the Havayah and Adnis, Berivua Adnus Ha'olim Rayo. Yesh Kavana Nosefis the Bechinas Rayo. So here's another Kavana over here when we talk about Rayo. Kasher Mamshichan the Nuk as a Shefa be Malchus Zer Anpin. When you're taking the Shefa, now you got it down to the Malchus Zer Anpin. He said behind the Atara, that is, he wants us to know it's the Atara or the Itra de Zer Anpin. Behind that's the very tip of Zer Anpin. Hainu Shiluv Havayah of Adni Kazeh, and he shows us what it looks like. V'chein Ribua Adni Kazeh, and he shows us that too. Ashech Shenechin, put them together. What do you get? Rayo. Excuse me, I got that wrong. Put together what do you get? You got rayas. And then he says the Hainu Rayo Imakolo. So that is, it gets rayas, it gets 217. And Rayo is and again, you know, the meaning of these things, I keep wondering about it, what exactly they mean. That is, how he's able to pull these out of the hat, so to speak, but he is. The Rayo base, or maybe there's a deeper understanding, that's what I'm trying to get at, that I don't know. So Rayo base, so the second time we have Rayo, it's another time. You said the word Baruch is another Rayo. So he says, Gam Nikras Baruch Al Yedech Rayo, it's also called Rayo. Why? He says, Shanischaver im the Yud base Osius the Adni, Shehem Rayo Vyud base, which is taking the Rayo, which is this Revuah of Havayah, 3 of them, and you add it together to the Revuah of Adni, Gematria Baruch. Add them together, what do you get? You get Rayo again. So here in the drawing, he says, he shows us the 3 Revuos, and then he shows us the Revuah of Adni, Yud Beis Osis Gematria Baruch. So he says, Laham Shecha B'Kol Ha'aras and Iskaros, L'Nuk Ha'omedes B'Bria. So this is what you need in order to bring down to the Nuk who's in Bria. And I think, as I read this, I remember 100%, that the Adni spelled in a Revuah is Malchus. That is a little mind-blowing by itself. You think of Malchus as a circle or some sphera or something like that. He says actually what it is these letters, like this. That's actually what it is, that hold the light of Hashem and transfer the light through that combo. Something like that. So let's look at number Yud Daled. And there is a note on this. I'm not sure that I got a lot out of it. I'll try it though. He says we'll go to the next page, Taf Kuf Pei Daled, and here it says just so now ultimately the chef is going where? It's going to Malchus. So this Kavan is very similar. You have 3 avs. But besides the 3 avs, now what we're talking about here, you're inside of the the Chagat, or let's say the Chacham Bagadad. It's not the Chacham Bagadad. It's the Chagat Nai of the Nuk, going down those 3 lines. And then he shows it to you, but count it up. Shehem Yud Beis Osius, were 12 letters. V'kachem olim yachad kiminyan tevis baruch, and they come to the gematria. You take 216, and you add the 12 letters of Malchus, which is the destination, I believe. You get to the word baruch, and here is your bracha arriving at Malchus, which is a very, very big deal if you can remember to have that Hakavanot. So let's go over and let's see if what I could do with number Gimel down in this Shefa of RASHASH, looking at the time. And we may stop here. I think it's very nice the way the Tiv has laid this out, because these lines underneath each one keeps them from blurring in such a way that it's impossible to really understand any of them. But over here, he has these little lines so that I can sort of take them one at a time. So he writes like this: V'gam nachamshek lo memalchus zer anpen chavai v'adnas v'rivua adnas ha'olim rayo. Yesh kavana nosefet lebechinas rayo. He writes, Kasher mamshichan lenokas hashefa. Now the much is coming in. Mimalchus the zer anpen dahainu itra the zer anpen. He says dahainu Shiluv Havayah and Adni. So you start off with this Shiluv of Havayah and Adni, which is, I guess he's talking, where are we here? This is Yud. Oh, it was up above. I'm sorry. I read this already. Let's go to, and I'm reading the Tiv also. I'm getting mixed up. I'm sorry. I beg your pardon. It's number Gimel that I wanted to be. He said, Hiksha b'Pesach HaNayim. He said, the Gavana Zuz Choyet Sarek Lahamshech Lenukva Asher bebria le'el takif achacham shachas arash bedas kal. Now he says there was a concept of bringing the five havayos of Gevurah of the Gevurah of Das into the Nukva. So he said, which is the Das Kal. It goes into her. Shehem He Gevuros Av, which actually come out to be, as we saw, 4 different Gevuros of Av, the Chagat, that is on the 3 lines. That's what I think he means by that. And this Pashtara Beruvura B'Shugabatra Araya, which spread down in as Araya. So the Pesach HaNayim says that's where this belongs. It belongs back there. V'yavaru b'kol Seder Hamshachos Achar Kach Siddur. Ze achazel the nukva v'shechah b'bria v'achar kach daled pamim chavaya v'adni. Then you'd have 4 different times. This is the way it's supposed to be. I think he means to say 4 different times. You have Havayah Adni, shehem rayo, which comes out to be rayo. He said 4 times 91. 4 times 91 will not get you to this number. V'achar kach daled pamim chavaya, v'adni, that's 91. Chavaya v'adni, if he means the shulav, shehem rayo. V'chein gam came naked b'shar kavanas b'seder rayo. So I didn't quite get this, because he says the daled pamim chavaya v'adni is 91 times 4. That will not get you to 216. So he says they are rayo. Now rayo really means, I think the reason why I'm misreading it is that what's coming down the 3 lines is going to be the rayo. V'chein gam came naked b'shar kavanas b'seder rayo, so it's also over there. Okay, I messed that up a little bit. Now let's look at number Daled. Number Daled says Nikras Baruch al Yedech Harayo shenischaver im Yud Beis Osius the Adni Hatam shetzarek lekavim shem Adni b'tevis Baruch. So what does Adni have to do with Baruch? He says that it's Mavur b'shar Kavanos Shehum Mishum Sheshefach Hadas and Nimshach Ata Al Hamalchus Behi Yosef Bebriya V'Sham He Nikras Adni. Now he says that when the Nukva is in, that's what he said here, that she's called Adni at that time. Behiksha B'Pesach HaNayim. So here comes another question. He said in Seder Tefillas Rosh Hashanah Oz Daled, he said the Hinera Ata Hanuk He Behechel Kodei Kodashim. She's in the Hechel called Hechel Kodashim, which is the very top of Bria. How can you call her Adni at that point? Only when she's on the face side. So I'm not sure exactly what that meant. I'm reading it. But look over the Eitz Chaim. So it's known. Masha kasa bezoy bereshis v'yivrach Elokim es shnechem ma'oros ki techidachem b'malchum mekatnusa hi tefela el hazacha v'nikra hey titol. The hishtalemes panim b'panim. So, but when she comes to the picture of being face to face with him, yesh lo shem shalom b'fnei atzma. She has her own name, Kagon Adni o Elokim v'yotze yu'un sham. So I'm not sure exactly what he was saying. He said, but he says while she's in. Well, I do know what he said. He said when you use the name Adni, it refers to her as panim b'panim. That's the panim. That's her panim. But over here, it's not her panim. Here over here, I don't know what it is. It's her acharayim, or she's. I don't know. I don't know exactly what it is. So that's his question. He says you only say it at that stage when she's panim b'panim with zer anpen, and that's not taking place right here. So I guess we'll stop here. Was there a little bit more? No. We'll stop here. We'll start at this place. The next time we'll come over. Excuse me.